Right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kieran and welcome back to Injection π23. For those of you who are out of the loop on this game, Injection is an upcoming survival horror game that's inspired by the likes of Silent Hill. If you want the basis on what is actually happening in this game and what you should expect, then I suggest going in the description below and checking out my new survival horror video that I did on the game last year. In some recent videos as well, I was talking about the possibility of me returning and covering updates on all the games I've covered in the past. So Injection, Daymare, Vigil. Well, Vigil I've already been doing like updates and all that on anyway. So basically, what I plan on doing kind of now, I'm still going to be covering new games. I'm basically going to be doing the exact same content I've been doing since the very start, but also going to be covering a bunch of updates on all the games that I've been covering thus far. So basically, expect like visual update style videos for these type of games, so that's what I'm going to be doing here as well. Starting with Injection. So a while back I actually did an interview with Abramelin Games, the developer of Injection, on the Bundicot website, but I thought to myself, may as well bring it onto the channel so everyone can see it, so expect that after the update. One of the biggest updates to the games thus far is the addition of a VR component. This VR version of Injection lets you take control of another character. Who this is and what he's doing, no one really knows, and I guess that's not really important right now. What is important, however, that the game will run on VR. It seems to be only fixed camera angles it will be using based on what's been shown so far. From watching the short gameplay clip of the VR mode, it does seem pretty jarring when you're constantly switching between cameras, especially when you have the headset on as well and you're looking around and you look to your left and as you're looking it switches. It's definitely going to be weird to play anyway. I'm definitely curious about it. I'm definitely curious how it's going to be adjusted for VR, because I think this is just like a demo, like a test now. So I'm curious what the final version is going to be like in VR. I do hope that you're able to switch between fixed, third and first person cameras in VR like in the main game, because like playing it in first person, to me, seems like it's the only way you should really be doing VR games. Like the whole third person VR games, they're interesting, sometimes they're fun, but usually it's a bit weird. It doesn't really seem like the correct platform for that game to be on anyway. Although it is a very nice experiment that the dev is trying out here. I do like that this dev does give you the option of, oh yeah, you're playing in VR, okay, you don't need to just play in first person, you can play in fixed if you want. Here's the fixed gameplay, this is what it looks like. If you want to try that out, here we have the option to. But yeah, I just want to I want the standard for the VR mode to be in first person. Injection's VR mode, also known as I think it's called Module, but it's spelled like M3DUL4. I'm gonna just call it Module, will be DLC and will only be compatible with the Oculus Rift. There seems to be two new sections of the Injection website detailing the history and secondary stories sections of the game. I watched over my last video as well and I didn't really seem to be talking about this, so I'm assuming it's new content on the website. I really hope so anyway. I did watch my last video and I was like, I don't seem to be talking too much about the website. In the history tab, Abramelin goes into what the game is about and what the character's goals are, which is pretty cool because before I honestly had no fucking clue as to what's going on in this game. As you can probably tell from the trailers, you can probably not tear apart what the fuck is happening, so you know, it's not just me. I even got to play a tiny bit of the game too last year, but the cutscenes were all in Spanish and everything was a bit weird as well. So I was sitting there like, no hablo español, yo hablas inglés. I'm just sitting there, I was like, is there an option? Can I get English subtitles? But because it was such an early build, the controls for it were a bit weird and a bit wonky. So I hope that all that's been fixed. Apparently it has been fixed from the build I've been played. Anyway, so yeah. The history tab says this. The player will enter the depths of a lonely mind that has lost contact with society. It will take control of a character who goes out of his way for his dog and does not identify with the moral values of the people around him, which he considers a threat. Terror will be manifested through the questioning of reality, existence, identity, and fear of their own human condition. History is disconnected, fragmented, and disordered, giving rise to various theories and interpretations. Even then, you have, we don't really know too much about what's going on. We're guessing that the main character, he's doing something for his dog. he's doing something, but it seems like he's very disconnected from reality. He seems like he has some sort of mental issues going on as well, so he might be suffering from some sort of mental illness. That's the kind of vibes I'm getting off that anyway. So I'm not really entirely sure what the story is going to be going here, but I'm very curious about it. The secondary stories tab is also another interesting addition to the website, which says this. The secondary stories tab is also another interesting addition to the website, which says this. In addition to the main plot, there are other subplots that will be related to each other as the player advances. The story will be revealed through documents, notes, audio files, cinematics, and other means external to the game, as the transmedia content. We do already know that you can play as other characters through the things like VR mode and even some AR stuff that I've seen as well. What Abramelin means when they say other means external to the game is that you're able to get apps on your phone from existing QR codes found throughout the levels. One app seen from Abramelin's Twitter is another game sort of like the VR version where you play as a different character, and you're even seen doing a puzzle as well. Even that game on the phone, it was like fixed camera angles as well, and you have to tap the screen for like the character to walk around. It looked really interesting. I cannot wait to try all these features out. By the way, if you do like puzzles in your survival horror games, then you are going to love Injection, by the way. This game is filled with puzzles, even the story is a puzzle. Now on to the interview that I did with Abramelin. This is quite lengthy, so quickly run to the loo if you haven't already, or if you're already on the loo, then get your arse up and go to somewhere more comfortable, sit down, relax, chill out, because this is going to be quite good. I decided to start off the interview by asking about the dev himself first instead of diving straight into the game, because Abramelin does seem like a pretty interesting developer and seems very passionate as well, so I wanted to talk about him first. I think a good place to start off is to talk about Abramelin Games itself. What got you into making games, and are you working on Injection alone? My motivation has always been curiosity and passion for the process of creating video games. Before making video games, I was pretty obsessed with music. I started in 2010 doing 2D games, platforms and arcade. In 2014 I gave the jump to 3D with Unity. As a staunch fan of survival horror, I was very clear about what my first 3D project was going to be. What inspired you to start developing Injection? Much of the inspiration comes from the work done by Team Silent with Silent Hill, and other great projects such as Project Zero, Resident Evil, up to Code Veronica, Rule of Rose, Haunting Ground, Dino Crisis, and Eternal Darkness. The other part comes from cinema and literature. Jodorowsky, Kubrick, Lynch, Robert Anton Wilson, Austin Manson Spare, and Peter J. Carroll. There are many winks in the game towards these authors. Could you tell us a bit about Injection's setting? The gameplay is focused on solving high difficulty puzzles with a progressive curve. Exploration plays a crucial role, and resource management, both healing and ammunition. The objective of this game is to recover all the elements that in the past were the hallmark of survival horror, also offering other more modern types of control such as the free cam or the first person, without renouncing the classic cameras, fixed angles, that we all like so much. In terms of story, will it be left open-ended for potential sequels, or will it be self-contained? Injection π23 is a trilogy. In the first part, No Name No Number doesn't close the story. There will be some revelations and various theories about the character and organisations that will intervene, will be present in a cryptic manner. But there will be a number of details that serve as a prelude to the second part and suggest different points of view about the story. From playing a little bit of an earlier build, what made you decide to implement all the camera angles, as in the fixed camera, the third and the first person camera, instead of just focusing just on one? My intention is that each player can choose the camera that seems most comfortable. Personally, I don't like the first person perspective, but I understand that there are many people who prefer this view, like those of the old school prefer static cameras. I think it's a differentiating point to have 4 types of camera. There are parts of the game in which you will need to change the camera to be able to visualise certain elements. This gives a lot of play. From trailers and screenshots, it looks like we will be going through a variety of locations. Will players be able to backtrack through these areas? There are chapters that are totally closed off, and others in which we can freely move through a large portion of the city that connects different chapters. In general, B parts of each chapter, as in 2B, 3B, etc., are open and allow that freedom. How difficult will the puzzles be in a scale of Resident Evil to Silent Hill? There are definitely more difficult than the Resident Evil and Silent Hill puzzles. They are more inspired by the Silent Hill in terms of difficulty. Some puzzles are really complicated, not impossible, in which the player will be lost and will not know what to do for a very long time. It is a game to take notes of everything that you think can be a clue. on your Twitter, you show off some kind of build that can be played on the phone. Is this a part of the whole game itself, i.e. app can only be obtained through the game? The apps are part of the transmedia content. You can access them from the game using QR codes. There will be a dozen apps, from symbol scanners, AR, to be used at high levels of difficulty, to fully independent playable scenarios, currently only on Android. There will also be a series of downloadable as fonts to decipher some alphabets in the game, and other tools that will help us unlock more content. How long is the game's duration? Between my brother and I, it took us 48 hours to get the platinum, and we know the game like a son. That will depend a lot on how each player plays. Completing the story mode first time around can take about 20 hours, but then there is a hard level and nightmare level in which new objects and puzzles appear, complicating the completion of the game. There is also a horde mode and collectibles that also add to the time. Unlocking all the content of the game can take quite some time. I know you're releasing the game for PC and PS4, but will there be plans for an Xbox release? At the moment it is only planned to be released on PS4 and PC. For Xbox, at the moment there are no plans, although who knows. What do you hope for the future of Abramelin Games? To finish the trilogy and perform other projects that I have pending. I'm quite restless and nervous, I cannot stand, so it is sure to continue making increasingly larger games. Finally, when do you think the game will be released? The game is finished, but the process of the bureaucracy, QA testing, etc. is very slow, and it doesn't depend on me. I think about March, but I do not want to get my fingers back. I think what he means there is fingers crossed, so I'm not 100% sure. And 3 months later would go to PC. So yeah, we are in March right now, so maybe the game will come out soon. I don't know, I'm not too sure. I did reach out to Abramelin Games before I'm making this video, and they haven't got back to me yet, so I'm hoping the game will get released soon. I'm definitely going to be playing it on the channel. I'm definitely going to be streaming it. Actually, I think my primary thing is definitely going to be streaming the game, so I cannot wait for it. It's going to be so much fun trying to figure out all these puzzles on stream with you guys. It's going to be brilliant. I'm actually really excited for it. So that was the interview. I hope you all enjoyed. If you want to see more about Injection, I suggest following Abramelin Games over on Twitter, because they do tweet a lot. Even though they do tweet in Spanish, it's fine. If you're learning Spanish, then it's fantastic. You have a wee game developer there that tweets out in Spanish. You can practice Spanish with them. It'll be fine, it'll be fun. Or you can stay subscribed here, because I will be covering Injection updates all the way towards its release. Before I go, I want to thank all my brilliant wee patrons, Simon609, Devil and Proxy1, for their continued support over on my Patreon. Thank you guys so much, I do really appreciate it. So that's me guys, what do you guys think of Injection? Please let me know down in the comments below, because I really want to know your thoughts on this game. I'm excited for it. I know the graphics aren't, 2019 material, but that should not matter with this game, because this game is great in terms of gameplay. And if you're into puzzles, if you're into that classic survival horror, and the thing is with this game, what I really like about it is that it's trying to capture that classic survival horror feel, but yet be its own thing at the same time. Like, you can look at it and be like, alright, yeah, it's inspired by Silent Hill, it's inspired by all these different games that Abramelin listed out, but at the same time, it's not like a copy and paste still of like all the other popular titles, But yeah guys, thank you so much for listening. If you're a indie survival horror dev and you want to get your game out there, please get in contact with me, because I really want to just highlight all these smaller survival horror games. Even if it's indie, if it's AAA, it doesn't matter. I just want to cover them, I want to get them out there, I want everyone to see them, and I want everyone to play them. But yeah guys, that is really me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I shall see you later. Bye bye.